But he couldn't survive a second. Rap star Tupac Shakur last night after a brief life in a rough business. He was 25.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light, and he happened to be hanging out the window. Once he got to reaching, I got to ducking.
Which of those four is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
After news of Diddy's sentencing coming up, he's about to be involved in another case. It was announced, with Tupac's case being reinvestigated by Vegas police, news of Diddy's involvement is strong. Because on November 18th, 1995, Tupac was photographed with Diddy's baby mama, Sarah Chapman. Diddy described Sarah as his dream girl in the past. So when she got with Tupac, he didn't like it, as Diddy made his first attempt on getting Tupac.
I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in A Vision. I only got shot once because they found the bug. The police found him, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work.
With his first attempt being a failure, he tried again. In the Diddy trial, it was reported, former cop claims Diddy had Tupac dealt with for $1 million. Suge Knight retaliated and had Biggie dealt with. Diddy hired Keefe D to take out Tupac, because after 20 years of staying free and not getting locked up, he was finally brought in for an interrogation. But what's interesting is Keefe D mentions Diddy was the lead man of the crime.
On all 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
Diddy was questioned about his involvement in the trial, which had news writing. Diddy faces questions about his alleged role in Tupac's passing after being mentioned 77 times in a legal filing. Keefe D says that it was Diddy's wish to take him out. But the man who wrote Tupac's biography looked into his life and realized Tupac wasn't as tough as he portrayed. As he said, Tupac didn't know how to defend himself and didn't know how to use a firearm.
Because he died because all these guys sold him this lifestyle idea, but he wasn't it. He couldn't fight. He had no athleticism. He didn't know how to shoot. He wasn't that guy, but he started to believe it.
He method acted it.
100% method acted it.
But this took over news headlines fast, which had this 50 Cent clip come up of where he called out Diddy in the past for doing something to Tupac. 50 Cent says he doesn't like Diddy because he had Tupac gone.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. I always say the wrong thing. Last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? Clip? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist trying to help me with the shit I'm saying. I said crazy shit. No reason. Oh wait, maybe I said it about Puffy because he got Tupac killed.
Even Eminem spoke on the situation in his song Fuel, where he raps, I ain't trying to beef with him cause he might put a hit on me, like Keefe D did him, and that's the only way you're gonna be getting me, as he called out Diddy for putting a hit on Tupac by using Keefe D's crew. But what's weird is the Breakfast Club even confronted Diddy about it years ago.
Now it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even gonna go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Cause you listen, 7 years ago I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Although you realize that Diddy wasn't alone in the crime. As news reported, the reinvestigation of Tupac's passing is revealing new names and evidence of those involved. The new name brought up is Suge Knight, which relates to another Eminem lyric where he said, I'm holding Suge responsible for the passing of the 2 greatest rappers to ever grace the face of this planet. If only the late Christopher Wallace could talk, he could tell you himself. I'm holding Suge responsible for the passing of Ja Rule or anyone else with the row. As new police records reveal, Detective Poole suspected that Knight arranged Tupac's passing before he could exit the label. He then framed the Blue Street team for the hit to throw off investigators. When looking at a Blue Team member to blame the crime on, one of the biggest is Snoop Dogg. And when you investigate Snoop Dogg's involvement in the situation, you find out that Snoop was supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge Knight.
With Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
Snoop says that he didn't go because of last-minute changes, which is because of an argument Snoop had with Tupac.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me, how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I told her that I liked their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
With this happening a couple of days before Tupac passed, it's very suspicious, especially when you realize Snoop was tapped into the streets back in the 90s. If any sort of hit was planned on Tupac, it's likely Snoop would have heard about it, which led to him not getting in the car with Tupac that night. Snoop Dogg also mentioned that 2 days before he passed, that Tupac hated him out of nowhere.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like it. I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to kill me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with them. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. There's video footage of all of us hanging out.
Although when you go over the entire night and how the crime went down, it's very concerning. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Vegas with the head of his record label, Suge Knight. They went to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, and once it was over, they spotted an op in the lobby, which led into a brawl.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Security broke up the altercation shortly after, which led to Tupac and Suge going to their hotel. They changed their clothes after the brawl and were getting ready to party it up at a club. At 11 p.m., they leave the hotel and head for the club. However, they were stopped at a red light when an SUV came up beside them and did the crime.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
Despite the crime being a mystery for 2 decades, Keefe D hopped on an interview to spill everything, as he detailed the moment they pulled up on Tupac.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. We was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He's hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
Keefe D explains that it was allegedly Tupac who began the altercation because they thought he was reaching for something in his car door, which makes it worse because Tupac knew something was wrong in the moments before it happened.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No, once he got to reaching, I got to ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started at Tupac and Suge.
Around the time that Keefe D did the interview, the public asked the police to lock up Keefe D for the crime. In response, they released an interrogation they did with Keefe D back in the day.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then, you know, Tupac's busy getting evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the
back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
Although Keefe D kept talking and revealed he regrets it happening.
Yeah, I hate it happened, dog. You know, I really do, man. Cause it took a lot of people's lives, dude. I hate it happened. Probably to God. I feel they should, you know, that was wrong, man. It was just purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
Although the evidence files get weirder because they have possibilities of Tupac being alive. An interview from an officer revealed Tupac was an industry plant by the feds. He was tasked with the job of stopping the beef between the red and blue street teams.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, you know, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Tupac Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this gangster type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
The plan never worked, which resulted in his passing. But this gives another reason to why Snoop Dogg wasn't there. It's possible he found out that Tupac was an industry plant and didn't rock with him anymore. Although for the evidence of Tupac still being alive, they found a 2010 interview of Tupac's friend Tretch talking about him. The two used to be best friends and even made music with each other. But it gets interesting when you find out that once Tretch thought the camera was off for the interview, he says how he last saw Tupac in Cuba, which is a weird thing to say about someone who had been already gone for 14 years. It comes off like it happened recently, and if it's an interview, why put the camera down for that question?
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question.
Nobody knows. Y'all good?
Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man.
We good.
What made the Cuba theory even crazier was a news website posted a video of what's believed to be Tupac sitting in a parking lot in Cuba.
Look, zoom in. That's Pac, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
Even Tupac's closest friend and manager Suge Knight agreed he's alive in multiple interviews. There's no one else that would know more on the case. He was literally there in the moment and lived through it. Suge Knight revealed that Tupac was doing fine in the hospital before he suddenly passed. As he stated, "When I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking. I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad."
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
The weird thing about the interview, though, is that the police claimed Tupac was in a very deep sleep. It wouldn't have been possible for them to both be laughing like he said. But it's not like Suge said this just once. In another interview in 2008, he continued saying that Tupac was alive.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
And only 2 weeks after that interview released, Suge was involved in an incident where a man used a firearm in his direction 6 times, which made him quiet down about the case, as he was worried he was targeted for talking about Tupac. But even Suge's son, Suge Knight Jr., made the same mistake. In 2018, his son took to Instagram and stated Tupac was alive and living in Malaysia. In the following days, Suge Jr. posted again, but this time it was a text conversation saying, "You said too much, it's time for you to go," which led to Jr. crashing out on Instagram and posting photos of Tupac with modern celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce. As on the post of Beyonce, he captioned it, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon." But all of this just left fans confused. Some believe he was faking it for attention, but others think it could be the truth, as out of anybody in the world, Suge Knight and his son would likely know the most.